on your iPhone.
Word spread about the app, and Ozair became a middle school rock star. In the hallways, kids patted him on the back. They gave him high fives. Most of them wanted to know how he did it, so they could build mobile apps too. In fact, the school district's chief technology officer was so impressed, he asked Ozair to make apps for other schools. You agreed?
Yeah, I did.
Hell yeah, kid.
A lot. I don't know if it's a lot, but they are there, maybe.
A school system spokesman said they haven't yet nailed down how much he'll be paid.
Oh.
But they'll be sure to follow all child labor laws.
Oh, yeah.
Ozair is okay with this odd little arrangement.
So I'm working 2 jobs, being a student and working with them.
Isn't that kind of bizarre?
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but I'm
not really.
So.
Ozair is part of a growing trend of kids turned entrepreneur. For instance, the 8th grader who built Bubble Ball, an app that managed to knock Angry Birds out of the top app slot. It's been downloaded more than 9 million times. Many young developers are hoping to nail the next big hit and make some money. Say you build an app for an iPhone or iPad. You charge 99 cents per download. Then, if 1,000 people buy it, that's $700 after Apple's 30% cut. Free apps make money through ads. But not all kids do this to get rich. They want to build something fun, like this. It's a musical app that changes your voice. Stanford professor Ge Wang created it and other popular musical apps. He says more kids are learning to build apps now because, well, they can.
It's really not that hard. All the tools are there. They don't cost a lot of money.
Wang says platforms like Apple's online app store have made it easier to bring a product to consumers. And he adds, lots of kids thrive on exploring uncharted territory and taking risks, which makes them fearless entrepreneurs.
Overall, the market is not really moving at the moment.
Carolina Milanese analyzes the app industry. Mobile app sales are expected to double next year to $17 million. And Milanese says tech-savvy kids are poised to move in on those profits.
These devices are used in school. They're part of their everyday life, and it's both play and work for them.
And for all those kids at Berry Middle School who wanted a piece of the action, Ozair started an app club. For NPR News in Hoover, Alabama, I'm Gigi Duban.
Here's a story about the strange meeting of old and new technology. A Wisconsin company will burn your old music CDs to a digital file, recycle the cases, and even let you resell the album online. As Teresa Shipley, Wisconsin Public Radio reports now, it's part iTunes, part garage sale.
Carter Hooper had a problem. The 51-year-old from New Orleans had spent years lugging around his collection of 900 CDs.
Those things survived Katrina, actually. I was in Katrina. I was in Boston, Mississippi, and a building that almost got blown away.
Minnesota, 1947, car number 2619. I guess I have you to thank for part of this mess we call roads and highways and shit. Asshole.
Murphy is a lot of things to a lot of people. But to Hooper, it was a dream come true. Murphy digitized his entire collection, and now he can access all of his CDs online through Murphy's website. The site also lets members have their own personal store where they can sell or trade albums from their collections. Murphy takes a 30% cut from a sale, but trades are free. Hooper says he's already netted about $50. Co-founder Preston Austin admits it's not easy to describe Murphy.
Sort of like eBay or Swap.com combined with iTunes or Amazon Music Locker.
But unlike iTunes, Murphy still deals in real, physical CDs. You just never see them.
This guy's clearly fascinated by this.
Tens of thousands of CDs ordered
vehicle right here.
Access.
Despite those big numbers, the warehouse is actually smaller than most living rooms. It's the central space in Murphy's office suite on the 8th floor of the downtown bank building. Inside the warehouse are 2 silver utility shelves. Each one is packed top to bottom.
Oh, the exhaust from this thing is horrible, I'll tell you that much. Fucking A.
Inside each box are dozens of
You get fucking loaded off this air coming off this car.
And nested inside plain white envelopes. The plastic cases are nowhere to be seen. That's because they're valuable. Murphy recycles them, making $1,500 a ton. And Austin estimates they'll recycle 100 tons of cases in the next year. All those CDs come from members like Carter Hooper.
Want to breathe.
Some are using Murphy to sell or trade their CD collections.
Car's
Others
choking
have
me.
Murphy Crypto Music, which costs $1 per album to download. And for $12 a year, some are just storing their CD collections. Matt Yonkel is Murphy's co-founder.
In the background, you know, CDs that are sort of shifting ownership in our markets. Everything comes back to ownership of real physical product. We just make it really easy to preserve that ownership without having a box of plastic discs in your closet.
According to the CD Recycling Center of America, a lot of people struggle with their CDs. Preston Austin estimates in the U.S. alone, there are about 15 billion used CDs just sitting around in basements and bargain bins, but no longer in Carter Hooper's basement. He was one of Murphy's first customers and says now he's hooked on the convenience.
For an old school record store inside, it's just an ideal way to have. It's perfect for me.
Digital record store, online
You
CD
don't need
library,
this shit.
remote
It's
garage
not like you
sale.
can sit on it.
Murphy may be hard to define, but that won't stop it from
It
expanding.
makes this shit more
Right now,
unbelievably
it just accepts
difficult to get
CDs,
around.
but it might soon take vinyl. And Murphy hopes to someday branch out to comics,
Turn off your
magazines,
fucking blinker.
even books, and become the one-stop shop for your online media library. For NPR News, I'm Teresa Shipley in Madison.
Support for all tech considered comes from Carbonite, providing automatic and encrypted online backup solutions for home and small business computers. Learn more at carbonite.com. This is NPR News. Support for NPR comes from NPR member stations and from Shell, helping deliver natural gas worldwide to meet growing energy needs. Learn more at shell.us/letsgo. From the investment firm of Raymond James, Wealth Management, Banking, and Capital Markets. Learn more at lifewellplanned.com. And from CenturyLink, providing broadband entertainment and voice products to Americans coast to coast. Learn more at CenturyLink.com. This is NPR.
This is 89.9 KCRW. It's 3:29. Still to come, a climate change activist who's going to prison takes one last wilderness trip before getting locked up. That story after the news on 89.9 KCRW.
KCRW sponsors include Memorial Healthcare IPA. Your doctor, your hospital, your choice. Senior advocates, personal care coordinators, and 200 primary care physicians providing the right care at the right time.
Poor Fud
More
Records
at
doesn't even match.
mhipa.com/care.
Support comes from the theater at Boston Court in Pasadena. LA Stage Times calls Boston Court the most lavish 99-seat venue in Los Angeles. LA Times says Boston Court has raised the bar for LA's smaller theaters. On stage now is The Dinosaur Within. The disappearance of dinosaur footprints in Australia triggers a series of mysterious events, bringing together a forgotten movie star, an Aboriginal elder, and a grieving father on an epic journey
so
of
much for making
transformation.
this one.
Tickets at bostoncourt.org.
Good afternoon. Sigler canceled in Studio City northbound on the southbound 101 at Lancashire. All lanes cleared, though you are backed up to the Ventura Freeway. This is due to an earlier collision. The eastbound 101, that's slow from Coldwater Canyon. Sigler on Sepulveda Pass continues northbound 405. Due to that Sigler, traffic's terrible from LAX up to the valley right now.
Traffic
the drive
is
time
terrible
is just
everywhere,
up
bitch.
Up to an hour and 20 minutes.
Sorry, but
PR News in
Maybe,
Washington.
like,
I'm Barbara
rude.
Klein. The
Traffic
Yemeni branch
sucks.
of Al-Qaeda confirms a U.S. strike killed American-born cleric Anwar al-Awlaki. And as NPR's Peter Kenyon reports, the group is vowing to
I take
avenge
back
his
the B
death.
word, but
A U.S.
you know,
drone
still,
strike killed
it's just
al-Awlaki late last
stupid.
month in eastern Yemen. He was the best-known figure in Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, thought by Western counterterrorism experts to be the most potent branch of Al-Qaeda. In a web statement monitored by the SITE intelligence group, Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula said, quote, "The blood of al-Awlaki will not go in vain," and that other militants would retaliate soon. Al-Awlaki was implicated in several attacks and attempted attacks in the U.S. and was considered an inspirational figure and successful recruiter who graduated to the planning of operations. Peter Kenyon, NPR News.
In Libya, Transitional government forces are battling Muammar Gaddafi loyalists in the center of Sirte, Gaddafi's hometown. As fighters crouch around the damaged convention center, desperate civilians are trying to flee fierce street fighting. The leadership of the Transitional National Council says it will declare Libya liberated when its forces seize control of Sirte. In the Pacific Ocean, Hurricane Hova is spinning toward Mexico, and Dennis Feltgen of the National Hurricane Center says warnings have been issued.
Oh, so much time spent
idling.
idling.
Hurricane, a major hurricane, which is aiming at portions of southwest Mexico at this hour.
This is ridiculous.
Information places the center
We
of
do
this
not need to be
hurricane
spending our
just
time
under
sitting
200
here
miles
waiting.
southwest of Manzanillo, Mexico.
Hurricane conditions are
It could be
expected to
moving.
arrive by tomorrow afternoon. Residents are being urged to take immediate precautions. On Wall Street today, the bond market was closed for the holiday, but in stocks, the Dow closed up 330 points, nearly
Seriously,
3%.
motherfucker, you want
at
to go left and you
11,433.
want to go left over
The
even
Nasdaq
more
was up
just because you're an
86.
asshole?
This is NPR.
Good afternoon. For KCW, I'm Errand. In a massive overhaul ahead of the full debut of federal health care reform, Los Angeles County has started signing up hundreds of thousands of uninsured residents for free medical care. In 2014, millions of uninsured Californians will become eligible for federally funded Medicaid. LA County is paying half the cost of Healthy Way LA until then, while the feds cover the other $300 million. Coptic Christians in the U.S. are preparing for 3 days of fasting and prayer starting tomorrow to support Egyptian Coptics attacked by Egyptian security forces as they tried to peacefully protest. Coptics in Detroit and Southern California are among those heeding the call of their spiritual leader, Pope Shenouda III. The Coptic Orthodox Diocese of Los Angeles will protest outside the West LA Federal Building this Sunday.